The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark's secret training with Michael Jordan began like a whisper that refused to stay quiet. It started as a rumor from an exclusive golf event in Florida, one of those places most people only ever hear about in celebrity magazines or billionaires' conversations. Grove 23, Michael Jordan's private kingdom, a sanctuary for the elite, became ground zero for a story that would send shockwaves through the world of basketball. By the time the footage surfaced online, the whispers had become an inferno. The WNBA wasn't just talking about it, they were panicking. It was one of those moments where the internet seemed to stop breathing. A grainy clip, no longer than a few seconds, showed Caitlin Clark walking side by side with Michael Jeffrey Jordan himself. The GOAT and the game's newest sensation, laughing, talking, and at one point, holding a basketball. It looked innocent enough, but the implications were enormous. Because this wasn't just another casual celebrity crossover. This was a meeting between eras, between legacies, between someone who defined greatness and someone daring to chase it. Within hours, social media caught fire. Hashtags like #CCXMJ and #JordanMentorsClark started trending across platforms. Sports networks scrambled to confirm if the footage was real. Analysts zoomed in frame by frame, dissecting every detail: the unmistakable silhouette of Jordan's gait, the crisp Nike gear that Caitlin wore, the manicured greens of Grove 23. Then came the confirmations. TMZ matched the setting. Insiders whispered that yes, it was real. Caitlin Clark had indeed spent a day with Michael Jordan at his private course. To most people, it was a surreal image. Jordan, the symbol of dominance, standing beside Caitlin, the rookie who had reignited interest in women's basketball. But for those who knew the sports undercurrents, it was more than that. It was a signal, a meeting that wasn't supposed to happen, and a threat to the balance of power in the WNBA. Because for months, the league had been carefully crafting Caitlin Clark's image, polishing her narrative as the golden rookie, the player who could attract millions of new viewers without outshining the veterans who'd come before her. But that control began to slip the moment she stepped onto Grove 23. Jordan doesn't just mentor, he anoints. And when he anoints, the world listens. The truth about Grove 23 only added to the mystique. This wasn't an ordinary golf course. It was Jordan's personal arena, a psychological battleground. Guests are handpicked by him alone. Drones deliver drinks mid-game. Every fairway is lined with cameras, and every hole tests a player's composure as much as their skill. It's known among insiders as Slaughterhouse 23, where even seasoned athletes have crumbled under the pressure of competing in Jordan's world. For Caitlin Clark, being invited there wasn't an accident. It was an evaluation. Witnesses say that between rounds, Jordan and Clark didn't just talk, they worked. At the practice range, Caitlin demonstrated her signature step-back jumper, the move that had electrified crowds during her time at Iowa and carried over into her rookie season. Jordan watched in silence, arms crossed, that familiar nod of approval forming on his face. To those watching, it looked like mentorship. To the league, it looked like a seismic shift. Because Jordan doesn't waste time with casual encounters. When he chooses someone, there's a purpose behind it. And soon, whispers began circulating that this meeting wasn't just about technique, it was about legacy. Sources claimed that Jordan had been following Caitlin's rookie year closely, admiring her grit, her mental toughness, and her refusal to back down no matter how harsh the criticism. To him, she wasn't just another athlete. She was cut from the same cloth that defined his era: the obsession, the fire, the unwillingness to be ordinary. One witness described the moment as a passing of the torch. Another called it the beginning of a revolution. But inside the WNBA's headquarters, the reaction was far less poetic. Executives reportedly went into emergency meetings the moment the footage leaked. They feared losing control over their most marketable star. Caitlin's fame was already dwarfing her peers. Now, with Jordan's involvement, she was on the brink of becoming untouchable. If Jordan Brand decided to back her, she wouldn't just represent the WNBA, she'd transcend it. Behind closed doors, tension brewed. Sponsors began circling. Marketing executives whispered about a possible collaboration between Caitlin and Jordan Brand, a partnership that could redefine not only her career, but the entire trajectory of women's basketball. Nike's top brass allegedly scrambled to contain the fallout, holding late-night meetings to assess how such a deal could affect their contracts. Because if Jordan was taking Caitlin under his wing, that meant more than just mentorship, it meant empire building. Then came the image that broke the internet. Caitlin Clark, in a dimly lit gym, lacing up a pair of sneakers with a glowing Jumpman logo. The caption read simply, "Work in silence." That was all it took. Within minutes, the post was everywhere. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram with wild theories. Some claimed she'd become the first woman to get a signature Jordan shoe. Others said it was a statement, a declaration that she was building her path on her own terms. ESPN ran the story for days. NBA stars reposted it. And somewhere in New York, WNBA officials realized they'd lost control of the narrative. But the real turning point came not from Caitlin or the league, but from Jordan himself. Without warning, the official Jordan brand account posted a single black and white photo, Caitlin Clark holding a basketball. The caption read only, "Legacy recognizes legacy." No press release, no interviews, just a silent confirmation that everything the rumors suggested was true. The internet imploded. Millions of views in minutes. Analysts called it the moment that would redefine women's sports marketing. Jordan, a man known for moving with precision, had just made his most symbolic move in years, endorsing a female athlete not as a charity gesture or a corporate strategy, but as an equal. Behind the scenes, insiders confirmed what fans already suspected. Jordan had personally reached out to Nike executives, telling them in no uncertain terms, "She's the future." Plans were reportedly underway to develop a Jordan women's line inspired by Caitlin's style. Part elegance, part ferocity, all business. For Jordan, it wasn't just about apparel. It was about rewriting the culture of competition. Inside the WNBA, reactions were split. Some executives saw opportunity, free publicity, record-breaking engagement, and renewed interest in the league. Others saw danger. A player with her own power base, her own marketing machine, and a mentor who didn't answer to the league was unprecedented. Caitlin Clark was no longer the WNBA's rising star. She was becoming its gravitational center. Among players, emotions ran high. Some celebrated her success, saying it elevated all of women's basketball. Others resented the spotlight, whispering that Caitlin was skipping steps, bypassing the hierarchy they'd spent years building. An alleged locker room video of an argument between Caitlin and a veteran player went viral, fueling speculation of fractures within her team. Whether the clip was real or not didn't matter. The narrative had already been written. Caitlin Clark was both the hero and the disruptor of her own league. And as the noise reached its peak, Caitlin stayed silent. No statements, no interviews, just work. Her Instagram bio quietly changed to read, "Built, not bought." To fans, it was the perfect message. To critics, it was defiance. Either way, it was pure Jordan. Rumors began swirling of a documentary being filmed in secret. Cameras following Caitlin from the WNBA draft to this very moment, capturing her rise, her challenges, and possibly that private conversation with Jordan inside Grove 23's glass-walled clubhouse. Sources said they spoke for nearly an hour that day, about legacy, pressure, and the loneliness of greatness. Jordan, ever the philosopher of winning, reportedly told her, "Greatness always comes with backlash. If people aren't hating, you're not doing it right." Those words, whether myth or memory, seemed to change her. Friends said she left the club with a new calmness, like someone who'd just been handed permission to stop apologizing for being great. That subtle shift in energy, the quiet confidence, was all the world needed to see. Within days, the fallout became measurable. Ticket sales for Indiana Fever games doubled. Merch sales featuring her name skyrocketed. The Clark effect, economists began calling it. And while the WNBA's board tried to frame the moment as a collective victory for women's basketball, the truth was undeniable. The power had shifted. The league wasn't leading the story anymore. Caitlin Clark was. And through it all, one haunting question lingered. Was Caitlin Clark saving the WNBA or surpassing it entirely? Because in the end, this wasn't just about a leaked clip or a viral hashtag. It was about a moment that broke the ceiling of what a female athlete could represent. It was about Michael Jordan, the embodiment of basketball's past, recognizing something in Caitlin Clark that mirrored his own hunger. What began as a secret meeting turned into a revolution. The WNBA may have been caught off guard, but history rarely asks for permission. Caitlin Clark's connection with Jordan wasn't just mentorship, it was a message. A reminder that greatness doesn't wait for approval. And if history repeats itself, as it so often does, Caitlin Clark won't just play the game. She'll change it forever. What do you think? Was this meeting the start of a new era in women's basketball, or the spark of a rebellion the WNBA can't control? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed diving into this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss what happens next in this unfolding legacy.